Hello, and welcome to Drag Race Stats. So I made this channel to make statistic videos about RuPaul's Drag Race, to see how each queen of each season did. We're looking at winners, bottom twos, Miss Congeniality, Snatch Game winners, trade of the season, and who should really have won based on statistics. And I've tried to guess who was gonna be in the finale, only watching the first episode before the critiques. And I'm only looking at seasons where RuPaul is the judge and host. And this time we're looking at UK Season 7. And oh boy, this was not the best UK season that's been made, and it's such a shame even after UK 6, because that one was so good, like definitely one of the best. This one was a big letdown. Fans have said it was been the worst season of UK, or even the worst season ever. I think that's going too far. I still think UK 3 takes that place, to be honest, even though we have a kind of a similar winner in this one. But the cast was just not it. There weren't a lot of memorable people in this one. I feel like this one will be forgotten pretty quickly, and they just eliminated all the interesting people and front runners early on, and some of them who actually did good were just being tossed aside to make room for other people that didn't really get any screen time or personality, so you didn't really care about them at all. It was some really strange decisions were made in this season and some crazy judging. And as always, I tried to guess the top 4 of the season when I watched the first episode before the critiques. And my guesses here were Catherine Feelings, Page 3, Selexi Addiction, and Tavis Mongari. I absolutely thought that Catherine was gonna win this season, because when she walked into the workroom, I got strong Lawrence Chaney vibes out of her, so I just felt like she was going to win. With Page 3, she seemed like such a professional performer, and she just oozed that winner energy out of her, so I definitely thought she was gonna be in the top 2, and then they were gonna rig the lip sync in some way so Catherine would win. And also, I found out early on that she was the daughter of Sasha Colby, so I thought that was a dead giveaway. With Selexia, it's because of the first episode there was a lot of focus on her. She was like the villain, and they kept showing her really shady moments, and every time someone walked in, they would show her do like a facial expression of disgust. So I thought like for that reason they were gonna keep her all the way to the end, and they did. And for Tavis Mongari, I thought for sure she was gonna be the lip sync assassin of the season, so making it all the way because no one could take her out, and that almost happened. So now let's get started with the queens. Pasty, our very first queen to go home, which means she didn't win any badges. She was in the bottom 2 twice actually, and was eliminated in episode 2 by Viola. So in episode 1 we did have a bottom 2 of her and Nyan Bella, and Pasty did lose the lip sync. But then we had the twist of the season, which was the lucky cow, where the queens had to vote for who they would want to save in the bottom 3, and everyone voted for Pasty. I don't know about this one. I don't know if it was rigged or not, or if they just made sure that the queen who was voted for the most was in the bottom 2 and did lose, so they could save her in the first episode, instead of just doing a top 2 for the first episode like it did in the previous seasons. Because I understand why they want no one to go home in the first episode, and I think they should keep doing that for every season, so we have more time to get to know the queens. But this was not the way to do it, I would say, because it always seems so forced when they do stuff like this. And also, if they wanted a trick like this, they could have kept it for later in the season, when it actually made sense to save someone like Bonnie or Sally. But yeah, we didn't really get to know her. I feel like she's a big queen in her hometown. It seemed like she was very popular or well liked, so it's a shame they sent her home first. They keep doing this for the UK seasons. It also happened with Joe Black, for example. And I also just felt like the first episode didn't make any sense. Like they did that Brit Gala award thing with the other queens, but they had to interview them, and they got like 2 questions, and that was supposed to be enough to judge them on how they are, who they are, and stuff like that. I just do something regular. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This is not enough. Do a fucking talent show, or do runways. I don't know. How are you gonna judge somebody talking about their eye disease, and that's gonna put them in the bottom, while somebody else talks about sucking dick, and that's gonna put them in the top? Like, it doesn't make sense. Viola. She didn't win any badges and was also in the bottom 2 twice. She was eliminated in episode 3 by Nyan Bella. Viola has also been on Queen of the Universe, just like Lawar, but again it doesn't get mentioned on the season. I don't understand why they don't want to say it. Like, is there something they're trying to erase here? I really don't get it. But yeah, it was a weird one with Viola, because they did not like her for some reason. I feel like she did quite well in the girl group challenge. I can understand why she was on the bottom 2 for the design challenge. That was not very good. But they were so mean to her. Like, it was really crazy. They really tore her down, all the judges. And also they made made her seem like this horrible person in the workroom as well. Like every moment we saw of her was something degrading of her, where she was like mean to somebody, or she was like whining about something. And I will just feel so bad if I was her and that was the edit I got. Like imagine going on 2 drag shows of WoW and this is the impression that people will get of you. That is crazy. But for the girl group, there were definitely people being saved that could have been in the bottom, and I don't really understand why. But it was also weird that they got rid of her so early, because if you watch the 2nd and 3rd episode, a lot of them is about her. It's actually really strange. Or this is just a case of where the producers want one thing and the editors want another. Nyan Bella. She never won any badges and was in the bottom 2 3 times. She was eliminated in episode 4 by Selexi Addiction. People really liked her, and she was fun to watch like she was, but I just felt like she went on here way too early. If she had waited just a couple of years, she would have done so much better, I would think, because she really did have some skills, I could tell, but her makeup and her wigs was just not very good. And also the outfits were not the best either. I was very surprised when she was in the bottom 2 for the girl groups, for example, because I don't feel like the critiques that she got were that bad. They were mostly honing in on her runway, which I just don't think is enough. Like, that's something you get from home. That should be like 20% of the challenge. If you do a good job in the challenge, that should be enough to save you. Yeah, again, I feel like some people were just being safe. Yeah, this episode was actually really strange, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I do wish she would have waited, but I also get the excitement on being on your favorite show, which is like a huge career booster for every drag queen, of course. And maybe she will come back to a UK vs. the world some point, and then she will probably do way better. I could see that. But yeah, so when we got to the acting challenge, I knew it was time for her to go home, because I also just felt like they wanted to get rid of her. Chai T Grande. She never won any badges and was only in the bottom 2 once, before being eliminated in episode 5 by Bones. Listen, this was the biggest robbery of the season for me. It was actually crazy. There was one Asian queen on this show and she is not being paid any attention. Like, there were so many challenges where she had the best runway of all of them and she was still being low or in the bottom 2 every time. It was just bullshit. We had the design challenge first, where she did one of the best outfits and was just safe. And then we had someone like Bones who made a tiny little bikini and is in the top. Like, it didn't make sense. Come on, her outfit was so beautiful. And then we get to the girl group, where she does a really good job, and they're doing everything they can to make it seem like she's not, and then putting her as low, where we literally have queens like Catherine, Sally and Bonnie, who were so forgettable and missed so many moves. And also with the acting challenge, I also feel like she definitely could have been safe, because it was so weird to me that Selexia was in the bottom 2, where Bones, who was safe even though they did the exact same thing and also kind of had the same outfit. I do think Selexia's outfit was actually a bit better than Bones. And then we get to the talent show, where she is eliminated again, where she did a really good job and definitely could have been safe. Again, we had Sally and Bonnie doing stuff that wasn't very memorable or funny in any way, and they're still being safe. And then she absolutely won the lip sync against Bones, but of course that was never gonna happen. I was just so over it. Poor Chai T. You did a really good job on this season, but it was just not being respected in any fucking way. Well, at least she did get Miss Congeniality at the end, even though she didn't get any money from that either. She deserved so much better. Sally TM. She won 1 badge and was only in the bottom 2 once. She was eliminated in episode 6 by Tyrus. Sally was a very interesting queen, I would say. I really enjoyed her runways mostly, because in the challenges she did not do very well, I would say. And I feel like she was saved a lot of times where she should have been in the bottom 2, especially in the girl group. She did absolute worst there, and also her runway was really bad with that monkey bear look. I know that she kept saying it was a bear, but it really looked like a monkey. Definitely should have been in the bottom 2 there, but that was right after her win from the design challenge, which I think was very fair, and I did not expect her to win it. I actually thought she was going to be an early out. There was a lot of queens that I thought was going to be early out, made it way longer, and then vice versa. And I think it was the same with the talent show. I don't think she did a very funny job or memorable thing in that one. And then when we get to the acting challenge, where she was placed high, where she thought she was going to be in the bottom, I thought she was going to be in the bottom as well. It was funny. It was just it wasn't great, but it was funny. And then when we get to the musical, I think she had the best runway of all, so that was really sad that she went home on that one. I think it was fair, but I hope she's someone who will come back and slay some more runways, but I don't know what the challenge is. There's just something very funny about her name, just having a very regular name and then trademark it. I don't know, I just think it's so funny. Page 3. She won 1 badge and was in the bottom 2 once. She was eliminated in episode 7 by Bones. I think it was really strange what happened to Paige on this season. I couldn't tell if there was someone they wanted to focus on or not, because she is the daughter of Sasha Colby, like I mentioned, but you could not see that in her runways, for example. Like, she had the same outfit, that bikini, every single time. It was just never really flattering what she wore, unfortunately. But you also don't know what connection she has to Sasha, since they don't even live in the same country. But she is definitely a performer. My god, she can perform. She was really, really good at that. I think she stole the show completely in the remix, for example. That was really funny. She was literally the only one who hit all the moves. But yeah, I don't understand what happened. I definitely thought she was going to win the girl group. I guess her runway kind of took that away from her, so that was really sad, because it definitely was the best there. And then in the talent show, it made no sense to me why she was placed low here. It said she was doing the same thing again, but yeah, what else would she do? Like, there was something she had prepared from home. Had it been the first episode, she probably would have won it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to say that. Yeah, so I just think that was kind of rigging in a way to place the talent show not at the first episode, so that she will do something that I have seen before. I just think that's bullshit. In the first acting challenge, for example, she definitely could have been in the bottom as well. And then in the Snatch Game, she's in the bottom 2 and goes home to Bones, where I again thought that Bones lost the lip sync to her opponent. But yeah, she won, so she had to stay. Then why make her win the Rusical with Elle? Elle could have won that alone. That wouldn't have made any difference. Like, it was just so strange what happened. I really don't get it. She was definitely very memorable. She was very funny in TV. She was so good at performing, and she was very interesting to watch. So I don't understand why they want to eliminate her here over Selexia, for example, who didn't really give much. She was more like in the beginning of the show, but I guess she did have some better runways. But it could also be that they saw her as a threat and wanted to get her out as soon as they could. Bonnie and Clyde. She won 2 badges and was only in the bottom 2 once. She was eliminated in episode 8 by Katrin. In the later part of the season, I definitely thought Bonnie was going to win, which was also surprising, because again, I thought she was going to be an early out. She was kind of like Ginger Johnson for me a little bit, but she's this queen who's not that memorable in the beginning, and you're like, why is she there? And then suddenly she comes in and really swoops a challenge, and you're like, oh shit, where did that come from? And then she just keeps winning. But then we get to the makeover, and she completely flopped it, unfortunately, and it does become her downfall, and she goes home. I think it was very, very fair what happened in the episode. She definitely did the worst job in the makeover, and she also lost the lip sync, but it was just so sad, because in that episode, Ru talks to her and tell her how funny she was in the Snatch Game and how amazing her outfit was, and that she wanted to slap her because it was so good. And I was like, okay, she is going to win this season. And then she goes home, and I was just so shocked. Like, it was right after Paige went home and after Sally went home. It was just another shocking elimination in this season, which also I would say hurt it quite a lot. And as soon as she went home, I said to myself that Elle was going to win, because Bones had already been in the bottom 2 twice, and she probably would go home in another comedy challenge like the roast. That's what I thought, at least. But yeah, I also think Bonnie was saved in some challenges like the girl group and also the talent show. And yes, she was also the Snatch Game winner. I mean, playing Cher as a chair is just so dumb, and I literally said that somebody was going to play a furniture after Gottmik won as a dog. But it was truly amazing, and she had so many jokes and puns. It really, really worked. Tyrese Mongardi. She never won any badges and was in the bottom 2 twice. She was eliminated in episode 9 by Katrin as well. It's sad with Tyrese, because she was just kind of there the most of the competition. She was safe a lot. She had 1 high placement, which was in the talent show. I guess she could have been high in the girl group over Elle, for example. But yeah, I don't really know. She was in the middle of the road the entire time, and not very memorable, unfortunately. She did make it very, very far though, and I did think she was gonna be this season's lip sync assassin and make it to the top 4, and she almost did. And I think the only thing she had going for her was the showmance with Katrin, which they did break up after the show. They said it was too hard dating when you were so far apart, and I totally get that. Been there, done that. And I don't think that she necessarily deserved to be in the bottom 2 for the Rusical. I think it's a bullshit thing to say in a challenge where you have a partner that one of them overshadows the other. I just don't think that's valid critique anymore. And I think she had some really good runways, and she really improved her makeup on the show. I think that was really great to see. And in the end, it didn't matter if it was her or Katrin who went home. None of them were going to win, and they definitely weren't going to be in the top 2 either. Katrin Feelings. She never won any badges and was also in the bottom 2 twice. She made it to the finale and placed 3rd/4th. Like I said in the beginning of my video, I did think Katrin was going to win this season. And then she also placed high in the very first episode and then the next one, which kind of solidified it for me. But then when we got to the acting challenge, I definitely thought she was going to win it. But then Bonnie took it, and I think it was because of the whole first day thing. And then the episode before Snatch Game, I thought, okay, now she's going to win this one. And then Bonnie took it again. I do think it was very fair though. And then when we got to the makeover, I did not expect her to be in the bottom 2 for this one. And then she sent Bonnie home, which was a shocker for me. Not that she didn't deserve it, she definitely did the best. And then when it was the roast that was announced, I was like, okay, now she's going to win, especially since she just was in the bottom 2. And then she just bombs it completely, which was so shocking, I think, to everyone. And then when she was in the bottom 2 again, I thought, oh, maybe she's not making it to the finale now. But then she did, and then it really didn't matter. I did like Katrin a lot. I thought she was very, very funny, very memorable. She had some great moments on the show. I really, really liked her runways as well. I thought in the roast, it was a bit unnecessary to tore her runway apart that much because the challenge was enough for her to be in the bottom. Because I think her runway was really beautiful, but the judges was really laying in on that as well. And it was just unnecessary, I would say. And I think she is one like Tia Coffee who could come back on a UK versus the world and win that when she has perfected her art a bit more, have some more money, is used to the competition, know what to do. And I believe it is the same with Kate Butch on season 3 when that one comes out. So yeah, if she is going to be on UK vs the World season 4, she is winning that one, I am sure. Selexi Addiction. She won 1 badge and was in the bottom 2 once, and also placed 3rd/4th. She was just safe for the first 3 episodes, and then when we got to the acting challenge, she suddenly was in the bottom 2. And I don't understand why, because her and Bones did the same thing. They had the same character, and I would say that Selexia's outfit that episode was way better than Bones. But for some reason, she is the one in the bottom 2, and Bones is just safe. I thought that was weird, and I actually thought she was going home in this episode because I don't think they really cared about her. But then she stayed. And then the next episode she wins the talent show for no reason. I think it's just because Ru has this weird fascination with silicone boobs, and every time a queen does something with that, they will win. I do think her outfit was amazing that episode, but I don't think she should have won the talent show. I think there were other queens who could have, like Paige or Tyrus. Yeah, I don't really know their fascination with her on this season, to be honest. I did think she was going to be in the finale when I said in the beginning, but that was only because of the first episode. Because the rest of it, she didn't really do much. Yes, she had some amazing runways for sure, and she made some of them herself, which was very impressive. But I just don't know. There wasn't that much personality. It was more like feeling better than the others in a way. Supposedly a villain, but not really. For me, I would say I think she should have went home in Snatch Game and not won the talent show. But I don't think she should have been in the bottom 2 for the acting challenge. And I also don't think she should have placed low in the musical. I think she was quite good in that one, actually. I was very surprised. And very, very surprised in the roast. I thought there was gonna be her and Tyrus. Very impressive, I would say. And she had a very, very funny moment where she was not announced for the top 2 in the finale, where she threw that tantrum. What a joke! That was really funny. Elle Vosk. She won 2 badges and was never in the bottom 2, and she placed runner-up on this season. I'll be totally honest and say I didn't really get the appeal for Elle in the beginning. I don't really understand why she won the first episode when she was just dressed up like, you know, the Titanic Museum. I thought that was such a weird episode too, but I really, really don't get why she won it. It wasn't until the musical episode where I really saw her and what she could do, and then she followed up with the Snatch Game and also the roast. I thought she did great in those 3 challenges, and I definitely thought she should have won the roast because she was the only one who didn't stumble a single time. But then she got the critique that she didn't go in hard enough, which is so weird because in the last season Marmalade was told that she was too mean. It just doesn't make any sense. She was so consistently through the entire season that for a long time I definitely thought she was gonna win, even though I was a little confused about her high placements in the girl group and also the talent show. I feel like there were people who did better than her, but yeah, whatever. And I think she was probably too immature to be a winner in a way. She still lived at home and she didn't really like to go out, she said, and she wasn't very comfortable leaving her parents. And as a winner, I feel like you need to go and do a lot of things, be a lot of places, represent the franchise in a way, and I don't think she would be ready for that, so it makes sense why they didn't crown her. Bones. Take out the BS and you got the one. She won 3 badges and was in the bottom 2 twice. She is the winner of this season. She is the first UK winner to have been in the bottom 2 twice, and also the one with the worst track record, unfortunately. Of her 3 wins, I only really agree with one of them, I would say. In the girl group, she did do a really good job, but I do think I would have given the win to Page 3, even though her runway wasn't as good. And then in the roast, like I said before, I definitely would have given the win to Elle, because she was the only one who didn't stumble. Bones was funny, surprisingly, but she did have some moments where she stumbled a little bit in that beginning where she didn't say anything for like 30 seconds or something. I just don't think you can justify that. But I also feel like that's where you would like guess who was going to win, but who won that roast, who got their 3rd win. And then with the makeover, I definitely think she deserved that win. I think her outfits were so beautiful. My favorite runway of hers, the entire competition, it was so beautiful, so stunning. Great makeup as well she did. She really deserved that. She is at the same house as Crystal Versace and Dee Delicious, and I just feel so bad for Dee Dee now that Crystal and Bones are both winners, and Dee Dee didn't even win a single challenge and lip-synced 4 times. Damn. But hey, great for Dee Dee that she got her drag displayed 3 times in this franchise. That's pretty impressive. The thing is with Bones that she's not really that much a performer. She's more like a booker, like she books other queens to perform. So it's really interesting that she came on the show and also won in the end. And I wonder if she's gonna perform more now that she won, or if she's just gonna go back to her job. And Bones is also the trade of the season. There actually was a few contestants for this one this time. There usually aren't. But yeah, it was between her, Selexia, Taris, Page 3. But I did end up giving it to Bones at the end. It's just a cute twink, to be honest. But yeah, Bones won RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 7 and £25,000. It's really nice that the queens are getting prize money now, since they still don't get any for winning the challenges. And as a brand new thing, I've tried to place each winner of the franchise in their own category. So Bones actually won 3 different kind of challenges: the runway for the makeover, performance challenge for the girl group, and a comedy challenge with the roast. But since I don't feel like she really should have won the roast or the girl group, well, she could, one is debatable, but I do feel like she lost both the lip syncs she was in, so I'm gonna place her in the runway category with her sister Crystal. It makes sense for the runways and also with the makeover. Now that we have looked at the stats, who should really have won? Despite Bones having 3 wins as the only one, she was also in the bottom 2 twice. And Elle had 2 wins, but was never in the bottom 2. And she actually never placed below safe, so Elle is the true winner of this season, according to stats. But it makes sense, like I said before, why she didn't win. And now let's see how I did. So I did get 2 out of 4 correct in the top 4, which I actually usually do. I did think that Katrin was going to win, which she of course didn't. She actually didn't even win a single challenge. And then Selexia was also in the top 4, which I did not think she was gonna be like at the middle of the season. I definitely thought that Taris and Paige could either slay the competition or lip sync their way to the finale. They did not, however. So that was really surprising. This was not the top 4 I expected at the end, with all the ones I thought was gonna be early outs being in the finale and vice versa. This was such a strange season to me. Yeah, unfortunately not the best UK season we've had, especially coming after UK 6. But I don't think it's the worst one either. I still think that belongs to UK 3. But it's just they made some weird choices in this season with the judging and who was going home where and who made it to the top 4. So that was a bit sad, I would say, and that hurt the season a lot. And I think that's also why the fans didn't really connect with this cast. Also because we didn't really get to know much about the queens. Like for example, Elle and Bones were really good mates, but we never really saw that on the season. So that was really strange as well. Hopefully they will do a better job at UK 8. We'll see. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Also check out my other channel where I make gaming and Pokemon Go content. See you next time. Bye bye.